All right, everyone, this is DEGENTALK, and today we're going to go over the upcoming UFC card, UFC Fight Night. And today I'm joined by BTC Vix, Philip, and Sauce is just hanging out in the background. Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Well, thanks. All right, let's go over this card. I think that we have a lot of the same opinions, but we'll still go over some of the fights. The first one I think that we have opinions on is Andrade against Hill. We know that Andrade is coming off a win against Calderwood. She looked really good. I think that Calderwood did get an elbow or something in, but, Andrade was just too much, got her down, beat her up. And Hill, got cut from the UFC and is since then the Invicta champion. Philip, do you have an opinion on this? You think Hill has any chance?
Everybody's got a puncher's chance. That's just the rule in MMA. I mean, look what happened to Michael Bisping and all those guys. But honestly, I think Jessica Andrade, she's just too much of an animal. I think people are considering her to be the only one in strawweight that could beat Wani and Jacek. So I mean that speaks volumes in my opinion. And you know what? I don't think Angela Hill has what it takes to beat her. She's just, she's got some pretty good stand up, but I think Jessica Andrade is, right up there with her. And on the ground, Jessica Andrade just mauls her pretty much, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you. I haven't seen anything that makes me think Hill is going to be able to get this done. Vix, you have anything? You have another opinion on this?
No, I mean basically Andrade's gonna come out. Angela Hill already knows the power. She's gonna be scared of the power. She's gonna get back to the fence. She's gonna feel a couple of those hard hits and she's just gonna quit. She's gonna ball up. She'll wait for the ref to stop it, and that'll be it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with anything you guys said, and just look at them. Look at the picture. Andrade, she's gone down in the. It just doesn't. She doesn't look. It just looks like she's so much bigger and stronger than Angela Hill. And if you stand them next to each other, we'll see it in the weigh-ins too when they face off. But she's just so physical, Andrade. And so I was looking at how in the hell to bet this, because, Andrade is something like 1.29. It's not really that interesting because, like Philip said, anything can happen. But, it is 129. I guess you could do handicap minus 3.5, but I don't know what that's at right now. I was looking at the under 2.5 for 1.9. I think I'm going to go with that as the main pick on this one. So at least you get, I think it's at 1.8 now. So some people must have bet on that. But I think that I don't know if Angela Hill can make it through 3 rounds. Get under 2.5 for 1.8. Vix, what do you think about that?
Uh, yeah, I'm a little, like it could be that Andrade comes out a little flat and somehow Angela Hill survives the 3 rounds, but I'll take a look at that handicap when it comes out. I've been a little bit less inclined to take the unders, even though I feel like it might happen, just because it could be a situation where, Andrade ends up really dominating the first round, 2 rounds, and she kind of goes into like, I'm just gonna, lay and pray, where she can get a dominant position and she knows she's winning and she might not be as compelled to finish. So I'm not as inclined to go with that under bet, even though it seems like a good bet. I'm just
Okay.
I've found that that's kind of the way I start to think, and it goes the way that I say it does, where the dominant player ends up being dominant, and then they don't actually feel compelled to finish because they get into kind of coast mode.
Okay. So maybe Andrade is not into taking a lot of risks in this one later in the fight. Philip, what do you think about the under on this one?
I like it just because I think Jessica Andrade has like 2 or 3 fights that has gone under 3 rounds, and Angela Hill also has, but she has lost them. basically. But yeah, I think that's a good bet, to be honest. I think I'm gonna take that as well.
Okay, good. All right, moving on to the next fight we're gonna cover here is, let's see, Grasso against Herring, another women's fight. Actually, there's 3 fights on here. There's also Torres against Beck Rawlings, but I don't really have a big opinion on that one. And we're just gonna jump right to Grasso against Herring, and it is the co-main event. It could be a main event, maybe. I mean, Grasso is pretty well known. It says here she's ranked 12, but she's only got 1 fight in the UFC against Heather Jo Clark. Felice Herring is coming off a first round victory against Karan, and she's not getting any love from the bookmakers. Opened at something ridiculous like, what was it, Vix? 3, 5, or 4?
4-5. I hit that as soon as it came out.
Yeah, so now it's down to 3-4, 3-4-5, something like this. So she didn't get any love from the book. So right now, clear underdog as far as the book is concerned. And, of course, Grasso is a heavy favorite. You're not going to get much on that side, I guess 1.2 or something like that. I've seen a lot of people picking Grasso here, and it is in Houston, not far, and she's from Mexico, so it's kind of a home play, you could say. Philip, what do you think about this fight?
Well, I mean, most people know by now that Alexa Grasso is a great boxer. I mean, she looked great against Heather Jo Clark. I think she even dropped her in the first round. Felice Herrig, I think she's got a few wins by submission, which is the only way I think she could win against Alexa Grasso. Alexa Grasso trains with, who is it? It's another girl from Mexico who also got really hyped, but she lost by decision. And she just lost because I think she got taken down a lot and she also got beat up. But yeah, I think that's Alexa Grasso's weak link is, her wrestling, which I think Felice Herrig could exploit. But I see why Alexa Grasso is the favorite. It's because she looks like a beast when she's standing, and it could very well, go the way by TKO in round 1 in favor for Alexa Grasso. But Felice Herrig looks like a good underdog bet for sure. I agree with that.
All right. Vix, what do you think?
Yeah, I've been saying this for a while. I think she's kind of the dog of the card. I mean, no love from anybody. And remember, Grasso is, I think it's 8-0 or 9-0 in her professional career. And there's a lot of psychology that goes on, not just in MMA, UFC, but when teams get in these undefeated stretches, or a person is like a fighter, they go into not as much like the hunger to win. They go into kind of like don't lose mode. And I really feel like the Heather Jo fight, I understand it was Grasso's first UFC debut, but you really felt that was a fight of her taking no risk. And with Felice coming in, there's none of that pressure. Clearly she's the big dog. A lot of the criticism that's come of her in the past is valid, but she had a whole mental issue side of things that I think people are overlooking. And I actually think she's got that in check now. So that makes me think that this line, more than anything, should be, if you would give Grasso, you'd just give her like a slight favorite, nothing more than -200 on this card. And to see those odds so out of whack has got me, I have to play the bet just on a value perspective. Felice has experience. Grasso's coming in scared, trying not to lose her perfect record. I think this is a good setup for Felice to come in and bully her. Make this fight ugly, push her against the cage, try and bring her down, and that's exactly where Grasso is going to panic. I think there's also I think Felice is 8 or 9 years older than Grasso, so that's a big thing too. When there comes to a panic mode, I think Grasso's more likely to make a mistake than Felice. So that's just kind of all my
I like that.
external factors that are playing into
Well,
taking Felice.
I like that that analysis definitely. I mean, we saw it a little bit with Cowboy, and I fell for that too. I thought that he would get the job done, but he was on a big win streak. After he lost the title fight to Dos Anjos, I don't think he lost after that until last week. So, he was on a big win streak, came to the home crowd, and got distracted. He was at a concert the day before. I don't know if Grasso is going to get that distracted and go to the concert, but there's a lot of distractions. Super Bowl is in the same town. It's basically, it's kind of a home play for her. It's in Texas. She's from Mexico, so it's a little bit of a home play for her. I like that whole narrative there, that a little distracted, and I think Herring has her striking is better than people give her credit for. She has some Muay Thai background. She's kind of a bully in there, and I definitely think that she has a good chance of getting her down. And I don't think that we've seen Grasso in trouble on the ground with someone really strong like Herring. So so all three of us are down with the dog on this one. Now, I was also looking, that is interesting, Philip. Do you think that it's possible Grasso gets a knockout also, because the under 2.5 is at 2.8 as well. So I don't know. What do you think, Philip? You think that's worth a go, or you think these women's unders are just too crazy?
No, I think that I think I'm honestly gonna take that because I don't know. She's got good hands. She dropped her last opponent. I can't find her now for some reason. Who was it? Heather Joe Clark. Yeah, she dropped Heather Joe Clark in the first, and she
Yeah.
somehow managed to weather the storm. I'm actually really impressed that she managed to do that. But I mean, as Vic said, Felice Herrig is older. She's got more experience, and she's been in worse situations than Alexa Grasso has. So maybe she could weather the storm as well. But I don't know. But I think I'm actually gonna take the under 2.5, and I'm also gonna take Felice Herrig to win.
Too crazy for you, Vix, the under?
Yeah, I'm just sticking with my Felice play. It all comes back to what I just said. Is I think Grasso is going to take a more conservative approach. She thinks, I mean, one of her past victories is definitely like outpointing her. So that's what scares me about the under. And I'd just rather pick the dog at this point. I mean, if I felt, I don't necessarily feel like Grasso's a finisher. So it doesn't really give me a lean to the under.
Okay, great. All right. Well, are there any other fights that you guys are feeling strong about? I mean, I think, Philip, I think could be an interesting card. I mean, but like we were commenting earlier, I mean, look, the UFC itself has 3 black silhouettes there. So we got some new people that are maybe not as well known, but I think that it's going to be a pretty interesting card. Oliver St. Preux is on here, Korean Zombie. I mean, that looks pretty interesting, but I don't know about for betting on these fights. Korean Zombie has been out for a while, hasn't fought in a while. I think that's good conservative skip if people haven't fought in a while, just to skip that one and see how they are.
Yeah.
But so I'm not on that. But do you see anyone? Yeah. Huh?
I want to see the weigh-in when it's Felice Herrig versus Grasso with the stare down, because I feel like Felice could kind of get in her head, really kind of intimidate her.
I like that.
See if that's gonna play into it. Like it's hard to get like a ton of reads off of weigh-ins. I mean, I do put some merit on them, but I just kind of want to see how they look at each other. And I just really feel like Grasso, new girl, she's kind of getting, we've had a lot of hype trains die lately. So, that's kind of the new one where the UFC is like, okay, it's your time. And she's young and she doesn't have her experience to loss. And we saw what losing did to Ronda Rousey, like this. So I don't know. It's more of a play on the external factors than it is on, the actual technical merit of both fighters. Because Grasso, from a striking perspective, this should never be a close fight. But I just disagree that that's going to be the primary factor to victory.
Okay, good, fair enough. Yeah, I do want to. Yeah, let's just touch on that briefly. Since the new weigh-ins have started, so the so-called early real weigh-ins, I think that is the real weigh-in to watch also. And Ariel Helwani does when he does it. Now I didn't catch it last card, but he does really good. He'll go there and he'll do commentary the whole time during the real weigh-ins, and he's able to catch if he's already been asking around if people have been having a hard weight cut. And I think that's really good insight. So there might be someone that misses weight or looks really horrible at the so-called real weigh-in, and might be worth considering fading them, depending on the odds, if it's worth it, or what you think of that fight in general. But I think that I don't have one off the top of my head where it was exactly like that. I have to go back and check, but I think that is definitely the one to watch. Yeah, sure, the normal way down with the stare down and all that. That's also important to watch if you think someone looks intimidated. But I think this other one, you can really see how they look after the cut, and I think that gives you a good look. So if you really want to be conservative, I would say just wait on all your picks until, already get who you think is going to win. But if they look like complete garbage at this real weigh-in, then you could just skip that one and go to the next. All right, let's go through Philip and Vix and just give your official picks for this one. I'll just say that I'm going to go like about everyone else so far. I'm going to go Andrade Hill under 2.5, 1.8, and Herring to win currently at 3.45. What about you, Philip?
Okay, so I'm gonna take Andrade Hill under 2.5. I'm gonna take Saint Preux to win by knockout in round number 1. Gonna take Grasso Herrig under 2.5, also Herrig to win, and I think I'm gonna take Dennis Bermudez to win over Chancellor John.
Okay, can you tell me how much Oliver St. Preux in round 1 pays, and how much the other one pays?
Yes, 1 second. I looked at it earlier today.
Well, I've got the straight odds here. We got so you're picking Bermudez or Korean Zombie?
Bermudez.
He's 1.5 or 1.54.
Yeah, 1.5. I think that's just too much. Honestly, people.
You're not giving the Korean Zombie credit?
No, not really. He's coming back from a pretty long layoff. It's almost, 3 years or something like that, and he's been in the army.
It's a long time. Time.
Sure, he's been, in the army, been active and whatnot, but, cage rust exists, or ring rust exists for a reason. I just don't seem to be the same Korean Zombie as he was before. Just look at John Jones, for example. He didn't look the same at all, and he fought Ovens St. Preux. I don't know. I don't think people are the same once they come back. They have to warm up, get a tune-up fight and whatnot to then actually look good. So I'm gonna take Dennis Bermudez to win, and I actually don't. Oh, okay, it hasn't been released on Bet365 yet. Ovens St. Preux by
What's the over on that main event? What is it?
Hold on, I'll pull that up just a second. Over 2.5, 1.48. Not really.
Well, I kind of wonder, just being a rusty fight. There's these guys are both threatening, and they're kind of known to be, finishers. Why not, maybe look at goes the distance as kind of a more of a exotic prop.
I like that.
Yeah,
probably goes the distance, pays a little bit better. Is that a 5-round fight? Do we know?
Yep.
Yeah, the main event is 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have to check the prop when that gets out on go the distance. But okay, it's a possible long shot. I'll consider that one. All right, Vix, your official picks.
Well, it's pretty much so. Yeah. Felice, Herrig, and Andrade straight up. I might add some props in there when they come. At least Five Dime's been really slow to add those props. They actually have props for the week after this event up, but they don't have this week's. They don't have any of them. They don't even have the main event props up yet.
Yeah.
So,
well, they're busy with the Super Bowl, I think. So
yeah,
I
and
guess
they've been sucking at those lines, thankfully. So, I mean, they've been good. They've been good at sucking with that because they've fucked up on a lot of shit. But yeah.
All right. Well, that's all for today. Thanks everyone for giving us a listen or a watch. Check us out in Telegram, telegram.me/sportsbet. Also check out degenbet.com. Put your comments below. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.
Bye.